Efforts to locate an Argentine submarine that has been missing since last week have been ramped up dramatically by a multinational search team of boats and planes, the country's navy says. We have tripled the search effort, both on the surface and underwater, with 10 airplanes, said Gabriel Gagliozzi, a spokesman from the Mar del Plata Argentine naval base. Ships and aircraft from at least 7 countries are scouring the southern Atlantic for the submarine Ara San Juan, which was last seen Wednesday. We have 11 ships from the Argentine Navy, from municipalities, and from countries that have collaborated with research ships such as Uruguay, Chile, Brazil, Peru, the United States, and the UK. These ships are following the submarine's planned route, and are sweeping the whole area, and we also have Navy ships sweeping from north to south and from south to north. Here's what we know, and don't know, about the disappearance of the Ara San Juan. The San Juan was last spotted Wednesday in the San Jorge Gulf, a few hundred kilometers off the coast of southern Argentina's Patagonia region and nearly midway between the bases. On Friday, the Navy said they were conducting operations to resume communications with the Ara San Juan submarine, according to a tweet. The submarine may have tried unsuccessfully to contact naval bases 7 times on Saturday. Argentina's defense ministry said calls came to different bases between 10:52 a.m. and 3:42 p.m. Saturday, and lasted between 4 and 36 seconds. Signals received from the area were being analyzed, but are still not determined to be from the crew. If they were sent from the San Juan, they could have originated from a satellite communication device, or from an emergency beacon which could be deployed by the vessel. We do know they have an emergency satellite communication system, William Craig Reed, a former U.S. Navy diver and submariner, told CNN. That is a buoy that will pop up to the top. They can send signals from this. They believe that might be the case. Although, unfortunately, it's not panned out. They have not been able to triangulate the signals. There's no way to confirm that they came from the submarine. But, he adds, it could be something minor that has caused them to either be hung up somewhere or they are on the bottom. As the San Juan is a diesel submarine, not a nuclear-powered one, it has a limited life underwater, Reed says. While submarines of this size and class can stay at sea for around a month, that doesn't mean they have 30 days underwater. It's dependent upon the last time they actually recharged their batteries, how long ago they refreshed the air, what's inside the submarine. We just don't know. If it has sunk but is still intact, they will have about a week to 10 days of oxygen. Peter Layton, a visiting fellow at the Griffith Asia Institute, Griffith University, in Australia says. From a crew comfort point of view, the sub would very likely travel submerged around 50 meters 165 feet below the surface, Layton says, only coming near the surface to snort, replenish its oxygen, recharge the batteries by using the diesel engines, and send radio signals, around once every 24 hours. However, it could depend on whether it was a straightforward transit or if the sub was engaging in other operations en route. Ewan Graham, Director, International Security, of the Lowy Institute for International Policy in Sydney told CNN. Obviously the Falkland Islands are an intelligence target for Argentina. There is no reason to suggest that it was engaged in this, but still a possibility. If so, it would need to stay out of detection envelope. Finding a vessel that is designed not to be found is more difficult by an order of magnitude than a regular shipwreck, Graham says. In general terms, they're designed to be stealthy platforms, he says. They are difficult to detect underwater. By an order of magnitude. If you're sitting at bottom of ocean, you're probably not making a lot of noise, he says. You can't recharge oxygen, can't run too much equipment. Sonar is only really effective when you're looking for a sub between the seafloor and the surface, but this one is on the ocean floor. What you need is something that maps the seafloor, similar to the devices used in the MH370 search, he says. The San Juan is an old diesel submarine, built in the mid-1980s, but was refitted with new engines and batteries around 5 years ago, Graham says. Because of the expansion and contraction of the hull as it ascends and descends deep below the ocean's surface, they are designed to have a shelf life of usually around 30 years. That shelf life has expired, Layton says. Assuming the hull is still intact, It can withstand ocean depths up to around 500 to 600 meters. If it's resting on Argentina's continental shelf, it is likely in waters shallower than this, but if it sank in the depths of the Atlantic Ocean, it likely sank below it.